Hi Flosstube, it's Lindsay and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. This is my Flosstube number 9 and it is Saturday the 30th of April. So we're almost into May, which is really exciting. I can't believe how quickly this year is going. I'm actually going to be filming on a Saturday from now on, and I'll sort of get into that a little bit more as we go. But it's a really sunny weekend here in the UK. It's bank holiday weekends. We have an extra day off of work on Monday, although I'm off of work on a Monday anyway, but my husband is home, which is really, really lovely. And yeah, we are just going to enjoy some more time to chill out. I normally do my life updates at the beginning of the video. You guys can let me know whether you're happy with that. Some people I know maybe are not interested in that kind of stuff, so I was thinking maybe I should leave that until the end of the video. But you guys can let me know in the comments below what you would prefer. But I'll just talk a little bit about what we've been up to over the last couple of weeks. I think I mentioned in my last video that we went away for a few days to the Cotswolds. So we stayed in a little village called Eldersfield, which was about half an hour away from Gloucester. And it was really lovely. It was an Airbnb that we stayed in, and we went with my sister and brother-in-law, and they live in South Wales, so we wanted somewhere that was kind of halfway between the two of us, so it was kind of easier on both of us in terms of driving. Normally if I go to visit my sister it's a 5-hour drive, so that's a bit much with Bella at the moment. I mean, we could do it, but I don't really want to spend that much time in the car with her. Yeah, she gets a bit too fidgety after a few hours. So yeah, we had a lovely time away. It was a really lovely Airbnb. My sister and her husband have got a rough collie called Floki, and to begin with, Bella was a little bit wary, especially when he barks. Although he's not really a big barky dog, but by the end of the holiday she was chasing him around, was obsessed with him, just wanted to be with him, throw his ball for him out in the garden. There was like a massive garden which was lovely for her to run around in. Yeah, she loved it. So yeah, we had a lovely few days away, so really enjoyed that. And it was nice to see my sister again. The last time I saw my sister was at my daughter's first birthday last year, and the last time I saw my brother-in-law was before the pandemic. So yeah, it's been a bit of time has passed since then. So yeah, it was just lovely to get away. I have started a new job, so for this term, so from last week until the end of July, I'll be working at a local secondary school as a reading tutor. So it's really lovely to have some regular work for a certain amount of time, and I started last week, and it's going really well so far. I really love the school that I'm working for, and I think it's going to be a really lovely role to do for a term as well. So yeah, that's really lovely, and that's why I've decided that I'm going to film on a Saturday, because sometimes on my days off it can feel like a bit of a rush filming when she's asleep, whereas she is asleep at the moment, but my husband is also home, so you know, if she happened to wake up or whatever, it wouldn't matter. I'd still get to come back and finish off. So yeah. So that's the plan from now on. I film on a Saturday, so you will see my videos popping up either on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday morning, depending on how long they take to upload and things. So yeah, I think that's kind of it for a life update. We've got a few things to talk about in this video. I'm going to go through what I've been working on. We've got the I've got the winner of the giveaway to announce, so I'm going to do a random comment picker for that. I've got some things to show you that I've bought, and I'm going to talk about my Stitch Mania plans. So stay tuned for that. I had some really lovely suggestions from people in the comments on my last video, so thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and that kind of really helped me to decide what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to participate in some sort of way, but I didn't want to do 31 starts or 30 starts in May or whatever. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So we'll start with whips. I haven't got any finishes, although I did finish my model stitch, but I can't show you photos of that until it's been published in the magazine. So I assume that's going to be in about a month's time. I'm not really sure, but as soon as it's published and out there in the general world, as it were, I will show you some pictures of those. I'm hoping to get a copy of the magazine and sort of store it away. Yeah, it was a good experience, an interesting experience. I spent a lot of time on it, so I would say a good solid 2 weeks of all of my stitching time. So it was nice to go back to my other projects, but yeah, it was definitely something that I would consider doing again. I don't think I'd do it every month, because I just wouldn't get enough of my own stitching time, but maybe every other month or something along those lines might be quite nice. It was quite a big project that I had to do, and to begin with, it wasn't full coverage or anything like that, but there was a lot to do. So perhaps other things that they give me to do might not be so time consuming, but we'll see. So yeah, so I spent quite a lot of time on that. So I finally, I was missing something that I needed, so I spent a few days this week on other things, and then yesterday I had the thing that I needed to complete it. So I spent time when Bella was asleep and finishing it off, and then I finally sent it this morning. So it's gone, it's done, it's all sorted. So yeah, I have been working on a few other things this week, which I'm going to show you. There isn't a massive amount of progress on them, but there is some progress, and that's great. So these are my whips over here. So I just went with kind of, you know, what I fancied picking up. I had a bit of a hankering to pick up a Dimensions project. So the one that I had as a whip was seashell treasures. I'm going to get a picture of what it's going to look like. So this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And this is where I am up to at the moment. Just put this behind it so you can see it a little bit better. Here we go. So basically I worked in this section over here. I'm starting to fill in this. I think this is like another shell. Let me just see. Oh no, this is a shell here, and then this is a separate shell. So I worked quite a lot in this section, just kind of up and down here, kind of trying to complete colours in that section. Yeah, so it's really, really pretty. I was going to say, one of the things that I learned how to do while I was doing my model stitch was the pin stitch. It was something that I knew about, but I'd never watched a tutorial on it or anything. And when I was doing the model stitch, I really wanted it to be as neat as it could possibly be. And there were some areas where it was kind of the only way to anchor a thread if you were in the middle of a thread rather than doing the loop start. So I'll link down below a tutorial that I watched from Shiloh over at X Stitch MD. She shows a couple of different ways of doing the pin stitch, and I really liked the diagonal way she was doing it, and that's how I've been doing it moving forward. And I have to say, it is a total game changer in terms of, I know some people really aren't that bothered about how the back of their work looks, especially if they're doing something a bit more full coverage, but yeah, just to save lots of things hanging around and having to snip off and things like that, I really like using the pin stitch, and I've used it on here and on other projects. So it works on Ada and on linen or even weave. So if you haven't tried that, I mean, you probably have, teaching you to suck eggs, but yeah, it was, for me it's a total game changer. I really liked it. So yeah, I'm working on that, really loving it. And so what I'm trying to do with this project is finish each shell one at a time. So once I finish this one, I want to do the back stitch on this, and then the back stitch on this, and then I'll try to do the next shell along, and then go back and back stitch the one before. That kind of idea. It's looking beautiful so far. So yeah, there we go. The light's on in here. It is sunny out today, although there are some clouds in the sky, so I'm hoping the lighting is okay. Right, let's put that one away. I just knocked my elbow. So that's the first whip. Then the other one that I worked on was, I'll just put this over here, by Freaks of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I had like the smallest bit to do on the April block. And so I finished this yesterday. I finished my order stitch, and then I was like, I'm determined to finish off this block. I had been working on it for a couple of days previously. So here we go. Here's the April block all complete. So you can see it as a whole. And then, yeah, I just finished off the April block. So I had this bit in here to finish off, and I think a couple of these lines. So yeah, still really enjoy working on this one. It's a real pleasure. So you can see through these kind of where I've anchored threads before, or like I haven't snipped them off when I finished them. So I'm going to have to go back and do that so that when it's framed, you can't see all the way through it. But yeah, I don't know, like starting this channel and being a bit more part of the Flosstube community, you just learn different things as you go along, and it, yeah, totally changing the way that you stitch, and yeah, it's lovely really. So I am going to be working on the May block in May. I haven't bought the May block yet, but I will. This is stitched on 32 count white linen from Zweigart, and I'm using two colours that Jacob did the model with, which is the lighter colour is 932, DMC 932, and the darker colour is 3750. So yeah, pick that up again in May, not straight away because I've just finished the April one. But yeah, that's just, I adore this. I can't wait for it to be finished at the end of the year. It's going to be such an achievement. Definitely my biggest project that I've ever done. And then the last whip that I've got to show you is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. So I'll show you what it's going to look like when it's finished. Obviously loads of people have stitched this, I'm sure you've seen this before. And I haven't done a huge amount on this one, but I've been working a little bit on the head, on the fox's head. So yeah, this is where I'm up to with this one. So yeah, I've come up and I've just started on his head, on his face. Put a couple more snowflakes in using the pin stitch. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to finishing his face off, because then I think it will start to come together an awful lot more. That is that fabric is a 32 count pearl grey linen from Zweigart. I bought that from Patchwork Rabbit, sorry. And it's all the cord floor floss, including the 2 fancy flosses that you need. So yeah, so they're all the whips that I've been working on. I think what we'll do is we'll do the giveaway winner. So I've got like a post-it note with the word giveaway in. So you had to, in order to win a copy of 2 by 2 by the Prairie Schooler, it was to celebrate 500 subscribers, which is great. you had to put the word animal in your comments, and I said I would draw a winner on my next video. So I've got the random comment picker website up, and I typed in the word animal, and there are 14 comments with the word animal in it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to press start raffle and pick random winner. And it is Lorraine Buick, I think that's how you pronounce that. She says, love watching your videos, love the colour of your modern folk sampler, the animal pattern is lovely. So congratulations, Lorraine. I will comment on your comment, but if you could either message me on Instagram, my account is Blushing Pink Stitches, or send me an email. I'll leave it's in the description box below, but it's blushingpinkstitches@gmail.com, with your name and address of where you would like me to send it to. I'll send that off to you, and I hope you enjoy that pattern. And I'm going to write down Lorraine Buick. Just take a little picture of that so I know. Okay, so that's the giveaway. I'm really excited that Lorraine's going to get that. Okay, so I talked to you about some things that I've bought over the last couple of weeks. The first thing I want to show you is I pre-ordered the next Caterpillar cross stitch along. I've got an in real life friend called Becky, who I met through the NCT, which for those of you that are not in the UK or who don't know, the NCT is I think it stands for the National Childcare Trust, and they do antenatal and postnatal classes, and Becky was in my postnatal, our postnatal class, which we did all over Zoom, and we've remained friends, as I've remained friends with the rest of the group as well. We meet up quite a lot. It's been an absolute godsend. And she just happens to be another person that I know that stitches. I don't have anybody else that I'm friends with or that I know in real life that stitches. So it's really lucky to come across each other in that way. So we saw that Caterpillar Cross Stitch were doing a new stitch along. It's called the Touch of Magic stitch along. And I think Becky texted me and sort of said, oh, do you want to do it, sort of thing. So yeah, the pre-order opened, I think, at the beginning of April. And then my kit came while I was on holiday last week. So it's a Halloween inspired pattern. So you can see the blurred out picture here. And it comes in 5 parts, I think. Let me see, because I've got the introduction PDF on my, on my Google Drive. Touch of Magic style, here we go. Yeah, so it's in 5 parts. The first part is going to be released on the 23rd of May, and then each subsequent part will release on the 23rd of the next month. So you've still got time to order yours and jump on board. You know, this isn't, it's going to be quite a few weeks until the first part of this is released. You can just buy the pattern or you can buy the full kit. I went for the full kit because I just thought it was easier rather than sort of locating things. So I opted for 14 count Ada, and it's like a grey colour, you can see, and it comes with all the DMC floss already all bobbinated up. Yeah, and I believe that she just emails you the next part on the 23rd of the month. So I'm really looking forward to starting that. I have one other Caterpillar cross stitch pattern which I'm going to talk about actually in this video as well, but I haven't stitched anything from there, and that's, I think, really remiss of me, bearing in mind that they're a UK company. And I haven't stitched anything Halloween. No, so that'd be really lovely as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's like and stitching that up. Okay, I'll put that on there. Right, and then, so I have been watching a lot of videos about people that stitch full coverage. So Heaven and Earth Designs, Artisy, I can't remember the names of some of the other companies. But anyway, I've sort of fallen into this full coverage rabbit hole, which I believe I have talked about before on my videos. So I have a wish list on Heaven and Earth, on the Heaven and Earth Designs website. And they were having a sale over the Easter weekend. And it was 50% off all of their patterns. And I knew I wanted to start with something small. So actually investing in one of the patterns wasn't that expensive. So the one I'm going to show you, I think it was something like $5 or $5.50. And then when that translated into pounds, it was something like $4.60 or something like that. So I bought a pattern during the Easter weekend, and I bought Quick Stitch Blue Butterfly by Ching Chow Kuik. I think that's how you pronounce that. So this is what it looks like, and you can see it's 150 stitches wide by 108 stitches high. So yeah, the reason I chose this one is because I've seen Emma from Emma X Stitch and Jemima from the Rocking Stitcher. They were doing a bit of a stitch along of this. And I'd not heard of Quick Stitches before. It's QS, Quick stands for Quick Stitch. And so I thought that something like that would be the perfect pattern to start with because it isn't that big. So it says on 25 count fabric, it's 6 inches wide by 4¼ inches high. Like, it's really not that big in the grand scheme of things anyway, compared to other Haid patterns. And I really liked how colourful it was, and I love butterflies and love flowers, and it's got some nice pinks in it. And so yeah, I thought I would jump on, get that pattern, and that will be something that I kit up perhaps with some birthday money. We'll see how that goes. And then last weekend, I think it was, or over the course of this week, they've done another sale. I think because they've been doing some updates to their website. So I think Michelle, the lady that owns the website and that does all of the patterns, she put a comment on the Facebook group about they've been doing some updates, and so while they were doing updates, there was also going to be a 50% off sale. So I had another look. I didn't want to buy anything big again. I had another look through my wish list, and I bought the Ornament for a Stitch in Time key by Amy Stewart. Now this is basically part of a much bigger pattern called a Stitch in Time, and this is sort of like a section that they've picked out of the pattern and just made into what they're calling an ornament. Now I won't do it as an ornament, I'll just stitch it in and frame it probably and have it up, but I really like the colours in this. So I went for that. This one is slightly bigger. It's 200 by 200 stitches. So that's 8 by 8 inches. So I'm going to do the blue butterfly first, and then I'll do this one afterwards. But I like the fact that they do quick stitches, they do ornaments, and then they do, the other one they do that's slightly smaller is something called a story keep, which seems to be like a strip of a pattern. And then you've got the mini, the regular and the super size. So yeah, and I suppose you could buy any of the regular charts or the super size charts and just stitch one little bit of it. I quite like that idea. Someone was talking about doing that kind of idea the other day, and I thought that was a really good way of thinking about it. But I like a lot of Amy Stewart's patterns, and she seems to be really popular on Flosstube as well. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to as well. And then the last bit of haul that I've got to show you is Satsuma Street announced that they were doing a stitch along starting on the 29th of April called The Animal House. And they sort of released a few clues. So if I can find them, I'll put on the screen a couple of photos that they released. But it really piqued my interest. And then at the end of the month, I decided to stitch it, mainly because I started following a new Flosstuber. And let me see if I can make sure I get her channel right. Okay, Jess, and her channel name is Little by Piku. I will leave a link to her channel down below. She's from New Zealand, and she put her first Flosstube video up a couple of weeks ago, and she has stitched an awful lot of Satsuma Street patterns. In fact, you can see in the background of her video lots of the cities that she stitched. I think she's only missing 2 or 3 of the ones that Satsuma Street has released. And she talked about this sale that was coming up and wanting to start it. And so her and I were having a discussion in her comments about it, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to have to get it. So it comes out in 6 parts, and they're released like every 2 weeks. So part 1 came out on the 29th of April. Part 2's out on May the 13th. Part 3 on May the 27th. Part 4 on June the 10th. Part 5 on June the 24th. And part 6 on July the 8th. So like every 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. So part 1 came out. So I'm going to just put up on the screen what that looks like. So it's this. So you've got this little sort of like house, and then it has a peacock in the middle of it. So it looks really sweet. So I went for that, and I've actually done an order for some not for some Aida, for some even weave, I think, or some linen. Was it linen? No, I think it was linen actually. 28 count linen and all the DMC, and I'm just waiting for it to arrive. So I obviously haven't started it yet because that hasn't come yet. But I'm really looking forward to doing that. We'll see how that goes. Right, I don't have a drink here, so I'm going to go and get a drink, and then I will talk to you. I'll come back and talk to you about my Maynia plans. Yeah, so just hold on 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Got myself a lemon Fanta. I don't know whether this is just a UK thing, but lemon Fanta is just amazing. And it seems to be whenever we're abroad in Europe, so like if we go to Cyprus or Spain or whatever, lemon Fanta is like the soft drink of choice. It's just so refreshing when it's super hot. And for some reason it tastes better when you're abroad as well. And I don't know whether that's because they use a different recipe when they, I don't really know. But anyway, it's still really lovely here. So yeah. So I've got my notebook in front of me. So I can talk to you about my Maynia plans. So I had a little, like I said earlier, I had a little think through. I read all of your comments and sort of conversed with some of you about that. You made some really lovely suggestions. So what I thought I would do is work on whips and some new starts. So it's sort of a version of Lindy Stitch's Stitch Maynia. There was a lady in the comments, I can't remember her name, so apologies, but she suggested going to watch one of her videos, and I did, and I sort of based my plans on what she was doing, but with slightly different. So her idea was to work on one of your whips during the week and then start something new at the weekend, which I thought was a good idea. So I've written down all of my whips, and then I've written down the new starts that I want to do. But then the new starts I'm going to do, I'm going to work on a Friday. So I have a day off on a Friday, which means that I've got an extra day at the weekend in order to work on getting some stuff done for this new start. Whips wise, week beginning the 1st, now weeks normally begin on a Monday, but the 1st of May is tomorrow, which is Sunday. So for the first week, I've put week beginning the 1st of May. I'm going to work on the Fox by Cottage Garden samplings as my whip during the week, because I want to make some good progress on that. And then on Friday the 6th of May, just hold on a second, I'm going to be working on candy hearts. So this is a free pattern that you can get on the Fat Quarter Shop blog. I'll put a link to it down below. But they are candy hearts that look like this. I've had this in my stash for a while, and so I just have some random bits of 14 count Ada that I've got left over from stuff, and it's DMC floss, so all of the DMC floss is in here. And what my plan was with this one, to stitch them all up individually, and then maybe make them into pillows, so that for Valentine's Day next year I've got some things to display in a bowl or something like that. What I tried to do with my new starts as well is have 2 smaller projects interspersed with 2 bigger projects. So I didn't want to start all big projects. I wanted to have a mixture of both, so that when they go into my whip rotation, I wasn't overwhelmed by loads of big projects, because obviously big projects take much longer to finish, and I kind of want to be able to finish some things in the meantime. So this is one of my smaller projects, so that is going to be one of my new starts. Just put that there. Then week beginning the 9th of May, I want to work on the next block of the Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. So I showed you that earlier on, that I'd finished the April block yesterday. So I'd give myself a week off, and then that week try to get done the May block. I don't know whether that's going to be completely possible. We'll see how it goes. And then Friday the 13th of May, which happens to be my birthday, I chose actually I don't have a picture of it in here. I'll put a picture up here. Hello Sunshine by Caterpillar Cross Stitch as my second new start, and my birthday start as well. And I've been really excited about this pattern ever since I bought it. I want to do all of the seasonal trees that Caterpillar Cross Stitch do. So I've got the pattern, I've got some 14 count white Ada in here, and I have all of the DMC that I need in there. So I'm really looking forward to starting that one. 2 really colourful projects to start. Then I've put week beginning the 16th of May, I'm going to work on Christmas Birds by Owl Forest Embroidery, and just excuse me for reaching. So if I show you where I'm up to with that one, I haven't worked on it at all since I last showed it to you in my previous video. So I'll just show you where I'm up to with that one. What can I put behind it? Oh, here we go. So I'll give you an idea of where I'm up to. So I work my way up to the top left corner. So what I quite like to do is finish this page, so I put, this is kind of like the middle. So if I can get this page finished off in that week, then that would be really good. If I show you what the finished pattern looks like, it looks like this. So we've got the beginning of a lantern kind of garland. There's another bird here. There's a motif here. Have I done the acorn? I've done the acorn. So that's not actually, that seems achievable. We'll see. But it does seem achievable in that time. So just fold that over. So that's that's my whip for that week. Put that back in there. That's that. And then my new start is going to be some of the 2x2, some of the 2x2 by the Prairie Schooler patterns. So I've got both of the leaflets here. Put these up the right way. So the original 2x2 and the second 2x2. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do 2 or 3, and I'm going to pick some animals that I know my daughter likes. So I think there are some lions in here. When I say she likes, but she can like roar like a lion. And actually, I don't know whether I said this in my last video, but she's just started talking. So animal noises and some words. So yeah, she likes lions. So I might stitch the lions. She likes monkeys. You can do the monkey noise. What else have we got on here? Giraffes. A giraffe is a possibility, or one of the elephants. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch the ark. We'll see about that. I'm not really a religious person, although I appreciate the story for the story. But yeah, I'm not really into doing religious stitching. So we'll see. I think maybe 2 or 3 of those. So again, I've got, some of it's loose, all of the DMC. Just put this in here. I don't really know why it's loose. But I need for that. And then this is a piece of 28-count Cashel linen in antique ivory. So I don't know whether this piece will be big enough to do all of the patterns on here. So it's 50 by 70 centimetres, but it will be good for doing quite a few of them. And like, for example, there are 2 zebra patterns and 2 elephant patterns. I'll probably only do 1 of each. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not sure about doing the arc. So I don't think I'm going to do everything on there. But yeah, for this mania, I think I'm going to try to do 2 or 3 of the patterns. So that's the weekend beginning Friday the 20th. About that there, yeah. Then my whip for the week beginning the 23rd of May is Seashell Treasures by Dimensions, which I showed you earlier as a whip. Plus I've put Touch of Magic here, which technically isn't a whip, it's also a new start, but because they're releasing the pattern on that day, I kind of want to make sure that I've started on that at least, so that I can keep up with it as I go. Yeah, we'll kind of see how that works out, because I also want to keep up with the Animal House. I haven't mentioned that. When I was putting this together, I hadn't bought the Animal House stitch along. So yeah, during the course of May, they'll have released the second part as well, and I don't want to get to the end of May and be behind on 2 parts, so I kind of want to do a bit of that at the same time. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, and then Friday the 27th of May, I'm going to be starting, this is called Baby Boots, and this is a kit from Vervico. And this is going to be my daughter's birth sampler. So I'm doing the pink version, and it comes with all of the threads. I don't know if they're DMC. Does it say? Oh, it is DMC. It's got a little DMC thing down here. It comes with all of the threads that you need to do either one of them. And then this is a, does it say 14 count Ada? Well, there's also a sign for 18 count Ada. Does it say on the front somewhere? I'm not really sure what kind of Ada that comes with, because there's 2 different options on there. I don't know. but it's some sort of Ada and in a cream colour. So I've wanted to start this for a while, and I really should. I want to get this done before she's 2 and up in her room. It's not, it's one of the bigger ones that I picked out, but it's not like massive. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm excited about that. So they're all the new starts, and then there are 2 odd days at the end of May. So we've got week beginning the 30th of May, so you've got 30th and the 31st. Oh, again, excuse me for reaching. I'm going to be working on Moth with Moon. So this is what this one looks like. And I showed this in my last video, but this is how far I've got with that one. So I think with this, it would be nice maybe to try and finish off this side of the wings. So that's not going to be much of a problem with the bottom. There's a lot of more filling with the top wing. So we'll see how we get on with that. Plus when I've pulled this out previously, I've just been working on it during the day because it's black. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how I get on with stitching it at night time. Yeah, I haven't got the best light at the moment. I've just got a light that goes around my neck, but I've actually asked my husband for my birthday if I can have a daylight lamp. So I'm really looking forward to getting that because I think it's going to make such a difference to my stitching in the evening. So yeah, they are all of my Stitch Mania plans. I'm really looking forward to that, really looking forward to it. Brenda from Handwork Maniac, she did this thing where she starts projects during Mania, and then if she hasn't finished them by the next time Mania comes along, then she works on that particular project on the day that she started it in the previous Mania or previous Manias, which I really like the idea of. I'd like to think that I won't still be stitching on these in a year's time, because they're not massive projects that I'm starting. I deliberately didn't pick really big projects. I've got a couple kitted up that I was contemplating, but because the Fruits of Plenty is a big project, I don't necessarily want to have finished that before I pick something else up, but I don't want to have too many big projects on the go because it's just a lot to juggle basically. So yeah, they're my Mania plans. I would say comment down below with what you're doing. Do that. Please let me know if you didn't in the last video and you're going to participate, then let me know. Also let me know, are you going to participate in the Touch of Magic Stitch Along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch? I would love to see your progress. I'd love to share progress on Instagram. And also with the Animal House one, is anybody starting the Animal House Stitch Along from Satsuma Street? I'd love to again share progress on those. Yeah, really looking forward to starting them. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think it is everything. I will leave a link to all of the patterns that I've talked about in the video today in the description box, along with any Flosstubers that I've mentioned, and anything else that I can think of that I've mentioned in the video. Yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you all have a lovely bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK. Enjoy your extra day off. Enjoy the sun potentially being out. I don't know what it's like in other parts of the UK, but hopefully you'll have some nice weather. And happy stitching over the next couple of weeks, and I will see you very soon. Bye.